Hi, I'm Brittany and welcome to my sewing channel. Today I'm going to be doing a do-it-yourself sew your own pillowcase. Now this is a very simple, beginner-friendly project. I probably could have done an envelope casing on it, but I chose not to because I wanted to keep it ever so simple. So it's just a simple hem on the end. Hope you enjoy it. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is take a pillowcase or your pillow and get your measurements. You're going to measure the width and the length. Here I'm just using my board to measure it out, but you could also use a ruler or measuring tape or whatever you have. And once you have the measurements, you're going to add 2 inches to the width and 2 inches to the length. And this is to account for your seam lines as well as your hem on the end. Next, you're going to lay out your fabric and make sure that you press out any creases or folds that are happening underneath and that your selvage edge is matched up so that your fabric is even. Next, you're going to cut your fabric to the measurements. Now, because I made mine on the fold line, I only have to do one long length cut. So once it's all cut, you're going to pin your edges and leave one end open. Now, when you are stitching your sides together, you can do a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch. It's really about personal preference. Don't forget to backstitch at the beginning and end of your seams to lock it in place. And then you're going to move on and you're going to start trimming away that excess seam line. Now you want to do this to remove any extra bulk so that when we flip it inside out, you're not going to have the raw edge showing on the inside. And here I am trimming the corner just to remove some of that extra bulk. You want to make sure that you're not getting too close to the stitches because then you're going to mess up your seam. There's another clip on the end. So once that's all finished, you're going to turn it inside out. Now by doing a French seam, you're also making sure that your seams are going to be strong to kind of withstand the test of time and you won't have any unraveling. So then you're going to go and press that seam. Now here I am using a tailor's ham, but it's really not necessary to use that. And once you have it pressed, you're going to go and stitch along your already sewn seams. But now we're doing this with right sides together. So this is typically how you would stitch fabric. And you want to make sure once you've completed this that you're not trimming your seam line afterwards because this is your finished seam that's going to be inside your garment. Now when I get to here, a corner, I pivoted it instead of going and back stitching. And here we're going to do the hemline. So I did, I believe, a 1/2 inch. You could do an inch, you could do a 1/4 inch. It's all about personal preference and what you want your finished item to look like. Now, the more you sew, the more you're probably just going to start eyeballing measurements like this, but I do check every once in a while just to make sure I'm on the right track. Next, you're going to press this seam. And for me, I remove my pins because they have little plastic pearl heads on them. But if you have just a standard needle with no head on it, you don't even need to remove these when you're pressing. And once you have it all pressed, you're going to make a second fold line and fold it over. Press again. And then you do not need to pin this because it'll kind of hold in place and you can just use your hands to go and stitch your hem in place. Now you want to take your time with this part because this is probably one of the seams that's going to show the most and it'll really impact the look of your finished product. Now here I am trimming off any loose threads. And there you can see your finished seam line. Now you can give this a press and it is a good idea to do it, but I think I skipped it. And here you have it, the finished product, your very simple basic pillowcase, and you can customize it by whatever fabric you want. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this project or are looking into getting into sewing or just want to check out more of my projects, I'd love for you to subscribe and I'll see you next week. Bye.